Mazda just did something nobody saw coming. While every other automaker is playing it safe, copying each other's homework, and slapping a new grille on last year's model, Mazda quietly drew up something that could genuinely shake the entire SUV segment. The CX-100. A name we haven't heard before, a size class Mazda has never touched. And if the early details are even half true, this thing is about to make a lot of Germans very nervous. Now, before we go any further, there is one thing about this SUV, specifically about what's hiding under the hood, that the automotive press is almost completely sleeping on. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why it changes everything about how we should be looking at Mazda in 2026 and beyond. Stick with me, because this is the part that matters most. So let's set the stage. Mazda has spent the last decade quietly repositioning itself. They stopped chasing volume. They stopped trying to out-Toyota. Instead, they went upmarket. Premium materials, rear-wheel drive platforms, inline-six engines, and a design language so clean it belongs in a museum. The CX-60, the CX-90, the CX-70, each one a stepping stone, each one a signal. And the CX-100 is where that entire journey was always heading. This is Mazda's flagship, full stop. We're talking about a 3-row, large-format SUV sitting at the very top of the lineup, designed to go head-to-head with vehicles like the Lexus TX, the Lincoln Aviator, and yes, even the lower end of the BMW X7 range. That is an extraordinarily bold swing for a brand that was selling budget hatchbacks not that long ago. But here's the thing. Mazda isn't bluffing. The exterior design carries forward Mazda's Kodo philosophy, but amplified. Longer hood, more sculpted flanks, a presence that's commanding without being aggressive. Inside, expect the same obsessive attention to material quality that made the CX-90's cabin feel genuinely premium. Genuine wood, soft leather, minimal digital clutter. Mazda is one of the very few brands that actually understands restraint as a luxury statement, and the CX-100 takes that even further. Now here is where it gets seriously interesting. The powertrain options are not what you'd expect. Yes, there's a plug-in hybrid variant, which is almost mandatory in this segment now. But Mazda is reportedly pushing forward with their longitudinally mounted inline-six, paired with an electric motor in a setup that produces well over 320 combined horsepower. Smooth, refined, and with that uniquely satisfying Mazda throttle response that their engineers have always prioritized over raw numbers. And if you're someone who genuinely cares about how a car drives rather than just how it looks on a spec sheet, smash that like button right now and subscribe, because this channel is built exactly for people like you. Back to the CX-100. The platform is where Mazda's real engineering ambition shows. Rear-wheel drive biased all-wheel drive, a long wheelbase, and a suspension tuning philosophy that Mazda says is aimed directly at European luxury benchmarks. That's the language of a brand that has genuinely outgrown its old identity. Pricing is expected to land somewhere between $65,000 and $85,000, depending on trim and configuration. That is real luxury money, and it puts Mazda in a position where they absolutely cannot afford to deliver anything less than exceptional. But from everything we're seeing, they know that. Now. That thing I mentioned at the very beginning, the detail hiding under the hood that almost nobody is talking about. Here it is. Mazda has confirmed that the CX-100 will feature their next-generation Skyactiv Z engine architecture, a technology that bridges internal combustion and electrification in a fundamentally different way than what any competitor is currently offering. It's not just about efficiency. It's about redefining what a large luxury SUV engine actually feels like to live with, day after day, mile after mile. It's quieter, smoother, and more responsive in normal driving conditions than anything in this class. And that, more than any spec sheet number, is exactly why the CX-100 is the most important vehicle Mazda has ever built. Don't sleep on this one.